Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever applicable to your geographical location. Thank you again for tuning in to our channel that is People's Reaction. And today we have brought to you a very interesting topic that says incident and problem management, one of the ITIL4 or ITSM core theme practices as per ITIL V4. So we'll try and discuss incident and problem management, and we'll see what are the key questions areas that might be in ITIL V4 foundation exam. So that is the agenda of this goal. Let's go see what do we have. Thank you, guys. Let's go ahead. So as you know that ITL 3 is now ITL V4. It's been now 2 years after 19. It's now 22, year 2022. So we still have 2 years. A lot of years gone by during this pandemic period. So a lot of people are confused with the year, but it's been now two years, effectively 2 years now. So this ITL V4, as you know, that this is majorly talking about identify, analyze, and correct. This is something that we have. Is majorly whenever IT governance is required, we always look forward to have something which is more cogent, coherent, and effective. And ITL V4 is considered to be one of the more appropriate, mm, yeah, to calibrate all these into a framework that says ITSM, service management. So let's see what we have in incident management. When we talk about incident management, we all talk about the um, governance of fallout that happened. How do you fix it? Certain rule regulation, and then we try and indicate towards the root cause what happened, and we try and follow the best practices that we have. That is major things, highlights of incident management. ITLV4 talks about that we should be following these the governance that we have in this, or or the organizational or organizational structure governance that is defined as per their principles, organization principle. Make sure that you follow the international standard to be able to show your customer clients that you are following the ISO standards to prevent or present the document in a way that's more secure, um, and and readily available whenever that is required. So you'll be also finding the root cause. These things are part of incident management. We'll go a little bit inside to gaze inside what could be the or what are the key topics under V4 that has been aligned with ITIL incident management. So when we talk about the incident, we have six different phases. How incident is reported and how it is disposed of or sort of solved. The first is preparation, where you have like most of the monitoring tool does this. Then monitoring tool gives you event if something happens, and then incident been created, which is called declaration of incident, and then containment. Issue is cleaned up. We try and yeah contain the issue, fix it, and the eradication means that after containment you try and work on the exact area what is required to finish it, or probably dispose the incident or resolve the incident. And then we try and wait if there is a recovery has happened. The solution that you have provided is working fine and is impactful on the issue or fallout. Then once it is there, you try and see if a lesson learned has been documented. In most organizations, we have team called knowledge manager, those who are responsible for jotting down all the learning piece together and then putting it on the center point where all the functional team can access it and they can uh, make use of it whenever they require. So lesson learned would be sort of input from incident to knowledge management. It's kind of handshake thing. That is a six critical phase, six stages of incident management. So here from this slide, actually, I'll have the core theme. What will be asked in ITLV, for example. So there is a technique called swarming technique. That is very important in the incident management. Swarming technique is swarming means that you are pulling out different skills from different functions together on a call, and you try and discuss the fallout that you have in hand to reach to a solution or eradicate the problem, right? Ensuring that fault is mitigated within the shortest possible time. So that's called swarming. Swarming is a technique. There can be multiple definition to it, but the best definition, understand the word called swarming. Swarming means you're bringing when you're running a SRT call, service restoration call, or when you call the SRT team to be there on the call, they pull up incident, what you call it, a data team, network team, application team together on a bridge, and we discuss it out. Can you please check this piece? Can you check this piece? And they stay there on the call until problem is this identified to be with a particular component, and then that team will identify it until that is decided or reached to a conclusion. Everybody remains on the call. Different skill set of an organization remains on the call. That technique of incident management is called swarming. So so what did we do in a real layman or probably more formalized ITIL? We said this is called collaboration. One team function or incident management collaborates with different teams in the organization, to get their opinion on the subject. And that's called collaboration. So we collaborate for what? To share the information, right, and share the learning that certain areas that I don't take care of, probably they take care of. So they'll give you to share the information and share the learning. We have collaboration technique used and swarming technique. Remember these 2 points from ITL incident management point of view for ITLV for exam. Right. If you go to the next one, so on this one, whenever you're preparing for ITLV for exam, every practice, which is essentially the process or function that you have in ITL V3. So you'll be asking yourself, do you know the purpose of that practice? Like in incident management, what would be the purpose? Purpose of incident management is to restore the services as quick as possible. That's their main thing. Restore the services as quick as possible. Something which will go root cause, these things will be taken care of. Some of the team called problem management. So their objective of incident management is team, whenever some fault happens, a fallout happens, their responsibility is to restore the services as quick as possible. So every incident which is encountered in the infrastructure should be logged first, should be mitigated as per the SLA agreed with the customer, and should be defined as according to the prioritization metrics agreed with the customer. The three things should be there. Right. So if you come back to the incident management, this is one of the most important definition that everybody, I'm sure that you have, if anybody has a little bit of understanding of ITL, they'll have this uh, definition on their tongue, which is, and what is an incident? Incident is an unplanned interruption to the IT services or reduction of quality of service. That's called incident. So that definition is very important. That what is an incident? Unplanned interruption to the IT services or reduction of its quality is called incident. Responsibility of incident management would be to ensure that the issues, fallouts, incidents are fixed as quick as possible. So this first pointer is very, very important. There can be questions saying that, okay, what is the standard approach whenever we encounter any incident? It should be logged first. Logging incident is more important. All right, let's go for next. Now, incident management has three very, very important components. That's his type of incident. There are three type of incident. Remember, one will be the regular incident based on the different impact as it is set by the customer. That is a normal or BAU incident, so you say that. And then you have major incident where multiple sites, important critical sites of customer is impacted. That's called a major incident. There's another third thing that comes into picture. That is information security breaches. This is very, very important for exam purpose. Information security incident. Like you might have seen that whenever DDoS attack happens, it is always raised on P1 priority respective, regardless of any organization type of organization, because security has a prime importance. Whenever at night, actually, if you're an incident management guy, you might have seen that. Remember the days actually when you were working during the night, late hours, as per your geography, and you find that somebody's trying to hack the systems, and your security or network security officers, they usually log incident proactively, saying that okay, they notice some inherent traffic that is not expected. So that is called security incidents. That is always have P1 priority in every organization. So three type of incident we have in ITIL V4. First is the BU incident, or what you call it, based on the impact assessment. Second is major incident. Third is security and information security incident. Now this is the type incident, right? Now how do you prioritize it? Prioritization has that's called a finger rule. That says based on the agreed classification with the customer or the component of the site, you say that this particular site should be one. This is kind of agreed with the customer and the service provider, and with their handshake, we get to know that what device or site is of what particular importance for the customer. So we, based on the agreed classification, we prioritize the incident or benefit, and we also ensure that the highest priority incident is fixed first. That is the objective of incident management. So prioritization also helps you. There's a question that comes in the ITL exams that what is the end objective of prioritization? Prioritization has the significance that every single incident or high priority incident should be dealt first. That is objective of prioritization. That's why we do the prioritization. Otherwise, if you don't have any priority, you'll be working on something which has very less impact or significance in the service profession, and you'll be end up losing probably working on the important critical factors. That's why we have severities or prioritization matrix available. That's the second component. Third component is this is I classify this as new one, so well, you should be mindful that there'll be exam. You will have one or two questions from this part, which says that robotics can be considered for incident management. Robotics, why? Only one function what I've noticed is where incident management is, sorry, where robotics has been documented is under incident management. Which is using the robotics. Probably you can, when you work on the different tools like Snow you use or NGSD you use, you give it the site name and automatically respective details picks up. Like if I am working on a particular router, you give the name a specification. Like if I am New Jersey or somewhere, I'll say um, US country name, and then you once you put in the US, all the device that US has, or probably after that even city name like Texas, TUSTAX, all of the devices that is aligned at this center, you will have automatically robotics gives you the matching. So that robotics can be used in that way. Robotics um, is mainly used to identify the configuration item to help the incident problem change management teams to record their journals, known errors, association, that is thing. And also one area where robotics I think can be used is it probably association of tickets. When you have multiple tickets coming in, if you have the CI matching tool can help you to associate or make it parent-child ticket. That is one of the area where you would use. So three questions that I highlight here from this slide is one is they'll say information security incident is it simple service request or incident management? The simple incident information security incidents are always an incident. Why do we do the prioritization? That is very important to resolve the high impact cases at the earliest. And then why do we use the robotics? That is also something that can be asked. One function, or they'll say what particular function uses the incident management, or probably what particular function can use the robotics tool. So you can see which one can we use. All right, so let's see what do we have. Let's just, as I said that okay, swarming technique. What all? A swarming technique is technique where multiple functional people, different people from different expert area, they join the call. Even SRMs join the call and help you out to fix it. Excuse me. So, who all can contribute in incident resolution? Support team, service desk, user can join the call if they have any details to share with with the provider. They can also help. Partner supplier you can engage. Cross-functional teams, disaster recovery team can provide you with the input. So, what all who all can contribute in incident resolution? That is maybe a question you need to be mindful that what they're asking. Remember that two things that I can think of from this slide which can come in is disaster recovery can give you input regarding incident, and people know that a cross-functional team is always there. And then user self-help is also can help fix the issues. So 2 points, two important area from this slide is that. Thank you. Let's go ahead next. Now let's go ahead and see what do we have in problem management. So in the layman language, the problem management would be practice that is responsible for finding out the root cause of any fallout that happened in the infrastructure domain or in the organization, in the environment that you work in. So that's called a problem management. Problem management is a responsibility would be to see what is the root cause of incident or incidents. Now, this definition is very, very important. Like I said earlier, actually, if you're preparing for ITIL V4 exam, you should be mindful of, you should be asking yourself a question. Do you know what is the purpose of problem management? You should be saying yes, because problem management is a function that is responsible for finding out the root cause of incident or incidents. That's the purpose. All right. Next would be, sorry for the bad throat. Next would be the definition of problem management. That is a purpose. A definition would be problem is the cause or potential cause of one or incident or incidents. It can be one incident, it can be multiple, but the purpose or definition of problem would be problem is a of cause or a potential cause of incident or incidents. That's the problem. Remember this definition very clearly. This can be exactly in the question. Maybe that's the purpose. Either purpose or or definition would be in the exam for sure, because no problem, incident, change. These practices are very, very important for service management point of view. So I'm sure that if I go by my knowledge, they'll be there for sure. These questions can be expected. Is expected to be there in the exams. So second is that the known error. What is the known error? The definition of known error is something which is analyzed, but solution is not yet provided. That's called known error. You know the known error. The problem is not circumvented or fixed, but has been analyzed. It is known that now some problem is there. Like an example, I'll give you an example. Known error. You know that in tax month, everybody fills a tax, and your tax website gets in a bad shape. Like a very slow response that gives you. So you know that the known something which is known to you why that happened. But since you know that the customer may not agree, or probably your client will say that just 15 days time, end of the time people rush to fill out the tax form. So they would say, we know that, don't worry. So your solution is not yet provided, but we know that something is wrong, right? So known error is something which is analyzed but is not resolved as yet. Right. This is, I call it, the most important part of this presentation. There are three parts of problem management. One is problem identification. How do you identify there is a problem? Second is the problem control. How do you prioritize it? How do you fix the issue that is under error control? We'll go one by one. How do you identify a problem? In identification of problem, you can do the trend analysis to see that what wrong has happened in last 3 months. You do the trending, and whatever comes to the top, you try and see if something is wrong with that. So this is how you identify the problem. You also see that something which is reoccurring again and again. That's also a part of trend analysis, but recurring incident means one type of incident that is happening again and again. Identify, or the major incident qualifies for problem investigation, or somebody, your third party supplier, third parties give you information that something is wrong. You should be considering as a problem, not incident. The next is your software development team, testers, project managers. They can give you a call back and ask you that, hey, there is a problem in the software. They will not call the incident management team. They'll call it as a problem. So there is a question actually, or there is question expected that they'll ask you from this particular one, that how do you, if, or they can say that if, let's say, third party gives you a call back regarding something wrong in your software, what will that be? Is it a problem or incident? Well, because a third party gives you a call back, it's a proactive incident. It's the problem identification. So it'll be problem, not the incident. Or they'll say, let's say your project team is giving you a call back regarding certain possible faults in the software. So what that would be, is it an incident or problem? That's your problem. Remember these 4 points. Somebody third party or your internal customers gives you a call back. Internal customer means your colleague, your developer, your project manager, CDD, anybody gives you a call back. That's the problem identification. This is how do you do identify the problem. Now, if you go to the next one, this is prioritization. Error problem control. How do you control the problem? You prioritize which one requires the prime attention first, right? And prioritize it and analyze it. And when analyze means using the four-dimensional model of service management, you try and see if people in organization part has to be fine-tuned, or supplier partner has to be fine-tuned, or for that matter, if I have to work on the improvements of uh, what you call it, process flows. These things you need to work on. All the four-dimensional view of that problem has to be explored, and then you do the prioritization. That's the problem control. And once you work with a fix, that's called error control. As name signifies, that's the error control. So error control's main point would be permanent solution, providing provision of permanent solution, and then uh, probably when you document the known error at this stage and document the workaround. These things you do in the error control point. So this is the main point. So my possible question that I can think of is, according to me, is they'll ask you how do you identify the problem if some major incident happened. Can it be probably that's not qualifying. Let me put it this way. If a software developer or testers or project manager informs you about certain glitch in the software, what that would be? So that you need to identify as a problem, not an incident. That comes in this problem identification. Problem control means how do you prioritize it? You analyze the problem based on the four-dimensional view, or with respect to four-dimensional view of ITIL4. Error control is actually, error control signifies how do you fix that particular issue that you identified, working on the known errors background and the workarounds. That's it in this slide. Let's go ahead next. Now, under the problem management, the word I just said that again, the error control, you document the known errors and workaround. What are the workarounds? What is this workaround? Workaround means, remember, the known error is something different, the workaround is something different. Under known error, probably you try and document these workarounds along with that, right? So workaround is solution. Now definition is, if you remember, if it solution that reduces the and eliminates the impact of an incident. Workaround is, as I give you example, workaround doesn't fix it. Workaround means, if you remember my example, that in tax month server becomes heavy or response very slow. So you know that the workaround means known error is something which is there, but the permanent fix is not known. That's why, right, permanent fix is not known, but we know that workaround is that when you restart it, server becomes okay. So that's the workaround to reduce or eliminate the impact of an incident, is known as Workaround. Remember that workaround is same where the problem is not resolved as yet. We only provide the solution how you can eliminate the issue or probably reduce the impact of an incident. Right? Solution is not there, but you reduce the impact of that. So it's slightly different between known error and the workaround. Workaround is known error is something which you know. It's not fixed. But under a workaround gives you solution that how you can eliminate it for a short time, how you can fix it. Permanent solution, remember, the hardware needs to be changed and that software in the tax website storage has to be increased. That requires commercial implication, commercial approvals, and nobody's going to improve it just the 15 days time that people are rushing to fill up their tax forms, and that's why the server becomes uh, quite unresponsive at times. So meaning is that the workaround is known that you restart it, but known error is where solution is not available. We analyzed it, but solution is not possible. So one of the most important is workaround, and known error is very, very important. Workaround is solution, how you can eliminate, as the name suggests, workaround, how you can fix it. Though the permanent fix is not available, but how you can temporarily fix it. Restarting it, every connection which is connected to the server gets lost, and when you restart it, your connection becomes quite responsive. Remember the example. Known error is which is known to you. Problem has been analyzed, but solution is not provided. Remember this. Let's go next. Yep. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in again. So that was a problem and incident management in depth, particularly covering up the important question, the lines of ITIL V4, incident and problem management. So I will say just go through it once and twice and remember the words that I said that okay, this is quite important from exam point of view. And I'm sure that you will have a success for sure. So what happens from exam point of view, even the 1 or 2 marks which you get at the end adds to the total tally. There are a lot of people actually gets fail and gets the score that is below the passing percentage, and 1 2 marks at times makes that bigger impact on the total score. So just go through this slide once or probably twice and remember something that I said, I stressed upon a few topics. Well, with that, let's end up this presentation. We'll see you again next time with some new topic. Thank you, guys.